Anne here, and welcome to our lesson. There are a variety of things to consider when developing a resume, including layout, design elements, and content. In today's lesson, we'll discuss resumes, Part 2, Design Elements. Before we begin though, please watch this short video clip from a movie. Hint, it's about resumes.
You have a resume? It's pink.
And it's scented. I think it gives it a little something extra.
Okay, so that was funny, right? But in the real world, especially the competitive fashion industry, a pink, scented resume will probably not get you the interview. Now let's take a look at two resumes of real fashion students. Which one do you think will land them the interview at the fashion company of their dreams? You got it, the one on the right. At this point in your college career, you probably already have a resume of some kind. But now that you are beginning to look for an internship or entry-level job, it's time to take your resume to the next level and make sure it will get you a job in the fashion industry. Take a moment to guess how long the average resume is looked at. 8 seconds. Yikes! Therefore, it's important to develop a resume that checks all the boxes: professional, appealing, and aligns with the design elements that are standard to the fashion industry. Ultimately, a great resume will really help you stand out from the competition. But before we begin, take a moment to think back to some of what you already learned about resumes in your previous coursework. Use this resume example on the screen as a helpful reminder. Did things like classic fonts, no color, and no picture come to mind when you thought about traditional resumes? That isn't wrong, but for a fashion industry resume, we can use design elements that are a bit more creative. So let's get started. There are 3 key design elements in a resume: fonts, color, and visuals. We'll review some examples of each one. Let's start with fonts. When considering fonts, you don't have to stick to the traditional, such as Times New Roman. You can consider slightly more designy or modern fonts, such as Arial or Comic Sans, like Harvey used here. Avoid overly stylized or scripty fonts with the exception of your name, such as Alice has done. Use standard font treatments, such as bold, italics, or underlined to draw attention to headings or titles. Overall, you want to keep things consistent. The use of color is a great way to add a little creativity. Stick to clean, crisp, and popular colors. Examples might include pinks or corals, such as Celine has used, blues or greens, such as Ashley chose, and shades of gray. Avoid dark or muted colors that might not display well on a screen, as well as overly bright colors that can appear harsh. Use one color and maybe a gray at the maximum. Color can be used in fonts in different ways. Consider your name or headings, such as John has done, or in a visual, such as a shape or graphic, as in Madison's resume. Visuals are another great way to give a resume a creative feel. The big 3 categories are shapes, photos, and graphics. Shapes, as seen here, can be used to separate portions of the resume, such as Chris has done, blocks of blue color, or to add some interest, as Tamara has done. A photo can be used on a resume in the fashion industry, but make sure to use a classic and professional headshot only, and place it at the top of the page as both Daryl and Abby do. Graphics can be tricky. If you do choose to use one, make sure it's simple and the placement does not interfere with the content of the resume. In general, stick to simple things, such as social media icons, like Arietta has done, or tasteful illustrations, such as the flowers that Selena chose. If you are a designer, do not include fashion illustrations or sketches. Save those for your portfolio. Now it's your turn. We'll take a self-quiz and answer 3 questions to test your knowledge on the best design elements for a fashion industry resume. Great, I hope you enjoyed that little self-quiz. Now we're going to take a moment again to pause the video and visit the discussion board for week 7. Using your new knowledge, provide feedback to one of your classmates by commenting on the resume question that they have posted. Welcome back! To wrap up our lesson, remember that you can be a little more creative with your resume in the fashion industry, as long as you keep it professional. The 3 key design elements we discussed for a fashion industry resume included fonts, color, and visuals. Now that you've completed this lesson, please begin to work on your Resume Draft 1 assignment. The examples reviewed here can be located in the Blackboard Week 7 folder. Make sure to look at them for reference as you work on this assignment. That's it! Next week we'll cover Resumes Part 3, Content.